doing, good people? This is the 8-Bit Animal. Okay, so because the World Cup began a few days ago, today I want to take a look at a football title. It's probably, I believe this is the first football title released for the NES. And it was published by Nintendo and developed by a company called Intelligent Systems. Of course, it's a black box title. And it's from 1986, 87, something like that. Well, it was originally published in 1985, but released in the US in 1987. Today's game is soccer. Okay, so this is a pretty basic football title. It has 7 teams representing 7 different countries, and for all intents and purposes, there's no setting up play, calling, and things like that. It's a really basic title, but you know, minus the technical drawbacks, this game speed and things like that, it's still a pretty decent title as far as when it was released, if you look at that. The countries that you can play as are Brazil, Spain, France, West Germany, because this was before the Iron Curtain fell, so the West and East Germany. So West Germany, Great Britain, Japan, and the United States. As far as there are no real distinct strengths or weaknesses in this title as far as the different teams are concerned. Everybody plays pretty much the same. One interesting thing I noticed about this title was that there's like a halftime show with cheerleaders, which was really peculiar and reminded me more of Double Dribble than it did a football title. Now, as far as gameplay though, like I said, it's a little slow because it was developed and originally released in other markets in 1985, so it's an early title. And even in 1987, it was still an incredibly early title for the NES. So it's a little slow, kind of like 10-Yard Fight's a little slow, but it handles pretty well despite that. You know, button presses are reacted to very quickly, things like that. As far as offensive plays, kicking the ball and passing the ball, everything's handled pretty well. Pretty much similar to what happens in other games later on in the NES life cycle. As far as defense, it's weird because you can't really slide. You know, there's no real tight defense. You just have to. The real defense that you perform in this game is intercepting the ball. There are no penalties as far as I know. I didn't encounter any yellow or red cards in this game. But all that aside, it's still a solid football title. And it kind of reminds me of other early sports titles on the NES, like ice hockey, 10-Yard Fight, like I said, and baseball. Finding a copy of this game is incredibly easy by itself. Now, as far as getting boxes and manuals and things like that, especially with black box cartridges, your price can kind of go up. Actually, it'll probably go up anyway because it's a black box title. So be aware and be on the watch for that, for scam artists and rip-off artists. And if you're in the market for stocking up on the black box titles, make sure you don't forget about soccer. While it's not the best soccer game on the NES, the best football title on the NES, because it's the first one, it does have some real historic significance. This has been the 8-Bit Animal, and I'll catch you beautiful people tomorrow.